What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for the progressive Classic WoW servers that are currently in Cataclysm and heading into Mists of Pandaria in a few months from now. And today I want to talk about how to prepare yourself for Mists of Pandaria and currently in Cataclysm. So this will kind of be one way that I'm personally preparing my character at the moment, and for this one I'm mainly talking about your main character, but you can definitely do it on your alts as well. So first of all, what I'm doing right now is gearing up my characters a little bit, because some of them are lacking from phase 1 and phase 2, like really badly geared. As you can see here, 355 item level, and what I'm doing to gear up is that when you get to 353, you can start doing random elemental ruin protocol dungeons. So Protocol Twilight, for example, and getting valor points, getting good gear from that. But if the only thing you care about is item level, I believe the fastest way to gear up is actually doing one random battleground every single day, or I should say one random battleground victory every single day. This gives you 540 honor points for winning, plus the honor points from like honorable kills inside the battleground, and 120 conquest points as well. Now by doing that for 10 days, you can buy yourself a conquest piece. So for example, the rings, the necklaces, all of those things, they are 1 to 50 conquest each, and they are 403 item level. In addition to that, the honor points will really quickly start racking up, and you can then buy yourself some honor gear, which once again, 1 to 50 honor, you can get 390 item level honor items for pretty cheap. Now the main reason for gearing up, especially for me, is that in Mists of Pandaria you will be able to get some gear pretty quickly. Like you start getting around 370 item level from the start, like when you start questing, so you do get geared up pretty fast. That being said, if you get to 390 from honor gear, that is going to last you until level 86, maybe even level 87, and the thing is, you can then start queuing up for dungeons right away, because you need to have about 350 or something, maybe a little bit more, to even queue up for normal dungeons at level 85. So I really just want to have the item level required to queue up from the get-go, and that way I can queue up for dungeons while I'm questing from the start of Mists of Pandaria. So the main reason for this is once again just to queue up for dungeons. So if you don't care about dungeons, you're just going to quest the entire way, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, gear is always going to be nice to have, right? Even if you're questing, the more gear you have, the more damage you do, and the more stamina you have, so the more mobs you can pull. It's all like kind of a snowball effect. Gear is always good, and when you can do one battleground win every single day and gear up fast, why not just do that, right? Now, one more thing that I'm personally doing to prepare myself for Mists of Pandaria Classic is simply skilling up professions, and I'm not talking about your main professions here, I'm talking about your secondary or tertiary professions. So if you go to your professions tab right now, like herbalism and mining, having your main professions skilled up, that's always going to be a good thing. But you also really want to have archaeology, fishing, cooking, and even first aid at max skill when going into Mists of Pandaria. Now, if like all of these are going to be relevant, by the way, both archaeology, fishing, cooking, and first aid, but if I had to pick two of them, I will say cooking and first aid. Like those two will be very relevant to have, but once again, the more you have the better, and on your main character you kind of want to have all of them at max skill going into Mists of Pandaria. Now, for the most part, you can skill them up in Mists of Pandaria as well. Like, for example, cooking gets a catch-up mechanic, where you can skill up using Mists of Pandaria reagents the entire way, and fishing, you can simply fish in Mists of Pandaria the entire way. So, skilling up gets easier in Mists of Pandaria, but I mean, fishing still takes time, and same thing with cooking. So, you can do it right now to save yourself that time, once again, when Mists of Pandaria comes out. So, why do you want to have these professions? Well, we're talking about Mists of Pandaria here, and for anyone who has played Mists of Pandaria in the past, you might know about daily quests. Mists of Pandaria has a bunch of daily quests, and the thing is, many of these daily quests actually revolve around your professions. So to give you some examples where having these professions is going to be relevant, first of all, we have this questing hub right here in the Arbotherum in Trade Forest, and over here you'll be farming reputation with the Order of the Cloud Serpent. This is to be able to, for example, use these Cloud Serpents in Mists of Pandaria, and if you have jewel crafting, you get your craft for the mounts here as well, like the Jade Panther, the Sunstone Panther, and the Jeweled Onyx Panther. Basically, the tradable, sellable jewel crafting mounts you will get recipes for from this faction, so you really, like most people, will be grinding out this faction, and over here you will have access to 3 daily quests usually, that you will then go over to the island, for example, raise the Cloud Serpents. Basically, you have access to 3 daily quests by default, but then you also have this person right here, offering you 4 more daily quests, and they are all centered around your professions. So this one, for example, fishing 10 sugar minnow from any fresh or salt water in Pandaria, fishing quest right here. You also have, for example, Fragments of the Past archaeology quest. Then you also have the Just a Flesh Wound wind wool bandages, so that's first aid. And then you have a Feast for the Senses collecting fish cakes. Basically, you have one quest for every single secondary profession: archaeology, fishing, cooking, and the first aid. Meaning that if you care about this profession, this reputation right here, the faction, you really want to have those professions to unlock way more daily quests. You have 3 by default, and then 4 more by having those professions. Now, I also said that if you had to focus on only 2, I would do cooking and fishing. So for example, cooking, you have an extra daily quest located in the Valley of the Four Winds at the Half Hill Market, where you have a cooking daily giving you a cooking like item that you can then turn into cooking materials and trade for gold, or simply further your skill in cooking in Mists of Pandaria. So that's another cooking quest you have access to. And then you have another faction called the Anglers. Now here you will have access to 2 daily quests you can do by default, and a 3rd daily quest that requires you to have cooking, all the way down at Angler's Wharf in Krasarong Wilds. So over here as well, like, you simply get 2 daily quests if you don't have fishing, and a 3rd one if you do have fishing. So for getting reputations, having fishing is going to be very important, and having all of these professions in general will be very important. Now, one last thing to mention here is to try to go into Mists of Pandaria with capped justice points and honor points. So try to get your justice points to 4,000 and try to get your honor points to 4,000 as well. Going from Wrath to Cataclysm, for example, honor points and justice points did not reset, and the same thing is very likely going to happen in Mists of Pandaria, where you will keep your justice points and your honor points, effectively allowing you to work towards level 90 gear right now at level 85. So cap your honor points, cap your justice points, and buy level 90 gear instantly when you get to level 90 in Mists of Pandaria Classic. Now, once again, Blizzard might reset this, but I feel like there's such a small chance that they do, and in the past they haven't. So based on that, you can, like, once again, cap your honor points and cap your justice points. Valor points will get reset, and conquest will get reset, so don't worry about those two. So yeah, hopefully that gives you something to do until Mists of Pandaria Classic comes out. And once again, we didn't really talk about gold making here, but it's more about just getting your character ready for Mists of Pandaria Classic. On the other hand, if you want to learn about gold making for Mists of Pandaria, including how to prepare yourself for Mists, I have made a gold making guide for that purpose that you can check out through the link down below in the video description. And over here, like, first of all, we're talking about how to prepare yourself for Mists of Pandaria, how you can farm for gold right now, and how you can also start working towards your gold making goals in Mists of Pandaria right now in Cataclysm. We also have access to the best gold farms in this guide, so you will find the best farms for absolutely everything, including some exclusive farms as well that you will likely not find anywhere else, or at least I'm not going to talk about them publicly. So that way you have access to some of the best farms, and they're a little bit more secret, if you will. In addition to that, if you get this guide right now, you will also get the Cataclysm guide in the same purchase, giving you 2 guides for the price of 1. So you can check out that guide through, once again, the link down below in the video description. Either way, this battleground is already going, so I'm going to start capping some bases and helping my team. So thank you for watching, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.